A healthy masculine man does not need to be told by his woman that she loves him. This doesn't really do much for a man. I'm not saying it's bad to do this. I'm not saying you should avoid telling a man that you love him. But it doesn't do for a man what it does for a woman. So imagine for a second, you've got a man who you really love. You're really into. You might have one right now, or you might have had such a man in the past. And he grabs you by the waist, and he looks at you, looks down at you, into your eyes, and he gazes into your eyes, and he just says, "Baby, I love you so much." That's probably going to feel quite good for you if it's a man that you really love, if it's a man that you're really attracted to. It's probably something that you would love more of than you're currently getting right now. And women have a habit, not just women, men as well, but we have a habit of thinking about what makes us feel good, what we really need, and then doing that thing for the other person, right? So in your case, for the man, thinking, oh, if this is what feels great for me, then of course a man's going to really love this, and this is what a man needs as well, and this might even be what will make a man feel more connected to me. But that's not the case. And in this video, I'm going to explain why that's not the case, why in many cases it will actually, following that idea will actually sabotage your love life and will cause a disconnect between you and your man, and what a man really needs instead for him to feel really connected to you and feel really inspired to want to take care of you in the way that you need. So hello, my name is Zach Rohde. I am here to lead you into creating the relationship of your dreams by teaching you how to inspire a man into cherishing you with your feminine energy and with what I call feminine communication. If you've not yet subscribed to my channel, make sure you do that below. Hit the notification bell and be sure to like this video because I'm going to make sure it's a good one for you today. And if you would like to learn how to inspire a man to cherish you, open up the description below this video. That description is going to have all of my offers to help you learn feminine communication, learn how to make these shifts. Great place to start is with my free webinar at zachrohdecoaching.com. That'll teach you all about how to shift out of your unhealthy control patterns and into communicating in a way where a man's going to absolutely love you and fall for you. All right, so this idea of telling a man that you love him and this idea of treating a man the way that you want to be treated. Understand that men and women are fundamentally different. We have different instincts, different instinctual programming. A woman's instinct is to be cherished, it's to be taken care of, it's to be seen, it's to be provided for, it's to be protected. A few of many of her instinctual drives. And some women are going to be out of touch with that. Other women are not going to be out of touch with that. If you're listening to this video, you're probably more in touch with that instinct than the average woman who's been indoctrinated by feminism and a whole bunch of nonsense. And a man's instinct is very different. If his instinct is online, his instinct is to protect his woman. It is to provide for his woman. Yeah, that means like paying for dates and stuff. Like a man loves that. He derives joy from that. His need is to give to his woman and to have his leadership, his gifts received. On that note, he needs to lead. He needs to be the leader. He needs to be seen as the leader. He needs to be trusted as the leader. He needs to be looked up to as a leader. He needs to be respected as the leader. These are opposite drives, but they're very complementary, right? I use the analogy of a tango dance, right, where the man is leading. He's the one making all the moves on the dance floor, and the woman is flowing with him, flowing with his steps. So she's following, he's leading. Both are equal, but in very different ways. Okay, so when it comes to I love you, why does a man not really care about this? To clarify, I'm talking specifically about masculine men with their instincts online. The less that a man's instinct is online, the less that he is going to resonate with anything that I say. Okay, he might even say like, this is toxic, this is crazy, you know, men and women, it's not this different, it's not this complicated. And understand, I used to be one of those men, so I get it. I understand the mindset. It's just he has wounds. The wounds are suppressing his masculine instinct, and so he enjoys things that a masculine man won't. I used to love being told by my wife that she loves me. I love being called baby. I don't think women should be calling their man a name like that. I used to enjoy, well, not so much getting gifts, but I enjoyed my wife like planning stuff for me and doing stuff for me, and I felt more loved from that. Now none of that does anything for me, and a lot of that is actually irritating to me. And the reason why is because my masculine instinct has come online so much that my needs are very different. Like I said, what I need now, I need to protect my wife. I need her to receive my protection, provision, leadership. I need her to look up to me. I need her to respect me. That's what I care about. And so if she says, I love you, that's nice. Again, it's not saying like, oh, I'm turned off by that. She could say it a lot, and that could turn me off. But what I actually need is a few things. One, if I say I love you, I need her to melt. Okay? And I'm not saying this as an act, because obviously if it's an act, then it's not real. Right? A healthy masculine man is going to be sensing if a woman's being fake, and obviously a woman's not in her feminine energy if she's faking anything. That's just a femininity costume. So I need to actually be able to feel that. A woman who is more guarded, who's more shut down, who's more hyper-independent, who has difficulty attaching to a man, she's not going to melt in that same kind of way. Now, she's basically receiving the I love you. And, I mean, a fun analogy, if you think about in the bedroom, what is a woman doing physically with a man? She's receiving him, right? She is receiving him. That's what a man needs in the bedroom. That's what a man needs outside of the bedroom. It's just that there's a lot more energetic receiving that the man is experiencing or should be experiencing with a woman. Just like the woman should be receiving, right? And so I'm giving one example with the I love you, but it goes for anything. So if I give gifts to my wife, I don't need her to give me gifts back. I don't give a crap about that. I don't want gifts. If I want stuff, I'll just buy it for myself. What I need is for her to fully receive the gifts that I'm giving her, to be really happy, to show a lot of gratitude. And again, it needs to be genuine. But receptivity, receiving my leadership and my gifts goes so much further than that, right? I need her to receive my correction, right? If she makes a mistake in the way that she's communicating with me, let's say that she's disrespectful, maybe she's judging me in some way, I don't expect her to be perfect, but when I correct her, I expect her to receive that correction. I expect her to even be grateful for that correction instead of arguing against it. What a man needs, like if we're going to boil all this down, a woman needs to be loved and a man needs to be respected. Okay? So a woman needs the I love yous. A man doesn't need the I love yous. A man needs a woman to be communicating that she respects the man. Now, you might think, oh, like, okay, what do I say for him to feel that? It's like, should I say I really respect you? No, a man doesn't care about that. And in the same kind of way, like there's a bit of differences, but in the same way that like talk is cheap, right? A man could say, hey, I love you, but if he's not acting as if he loves a woman, she's going to start to feel resentful no matter how many I love yous he gives, right? If he's not planning dates, if he's not providing for her, if he's not being chivalrous, if he's not making moves to fully claim her in marriage, all that stuff, she's going to start to feel like crap because his words are not aligning with his actions. And in a somewhat similar kind of way, it's the same with a woman saying, I respect you. But it's more than that, because at least a woman with a man who really does love her and is showing it, she's going to love it when a man says, hey, baby, I love you so much. But with a man, if a woman looks up to a man and she's like, oh, I respect you so much, with a masculine man, it's going to do nothing. With a man that really needs a lot of validation and he's feeling insecure, yeah, that can do something. But I'm talking specifically about more masculine men. If you're single, you're probably going to want to attract the most masculine man you can. And so what is going to cause them to really want to take care of you, it's going to be very different than a really emasculated man. An emasculated man's probably not going to want to take care of you at all. He's probably going to want to be taken care of or going to want to be your roommate in some way. But yeah, so a masculine man, really masculine man, he doesn't need to hear those words. He needs to see it in your actions. He needs to see you receiving his leadership, receiving his correction, receiving his feedback, receiving what he's teaching you, if he's coaching you in any way, that you're receptive. If he's, saying, hey, we're going to go do this, that you're receptive to it, right? That you're just able to follow along instead of judging why this leadership is not good, or why his leadership is like too reactive or emotional. Like say he's correcting you, but it's kind of emotional. You're not stepping in to correct him, right? You're not judging him. You're not giving, no, you know what, that's good, but how about we do this instead? You're not like providing other solutions because his choice in a restaurant or whatever isn't as good as it could be. You are able to fully receive in every way, just like a salsa or tango dancer woman is just fully receiving the man's leadership. She's just going with the flow, fully opening herself to him. Now there is a danger here, and it needs to be pointed out. It's that there are lots of women like that who, and many of which are my clients, who are able to be relatively quite receptive, who will follow a man's lead, who will receive the man's correction and his direction and everything. However, the big issue is she's not communicating her needs. She's not communicating her feelings. She's not communicating what's coming up for her. She's not communicating the problems that she's experiencing with the man's leadership. Because what I'm not teaching you is to basically just be a quiet doormat, where it's like, man wants something, he's telling you to do something, you just do it even if you feel like crap, even if you're dishonoring your heart, even if your needs aren't being met, you just go along. Because now you're out of your self-worth. And that's going to attract the wrong kind of men, typically more narcissistic, sociopathic, or just deeply wounded men. Your needs aren't going to get met. You're going to feel terrible, and he's going to increasingly lose attraction and connection for you because you're communicating that you don't have much value. The art of being feminine and the art of feminine communication is not just following. It's not just doing what the man wants. It's learning how to also communicate your needs and feelings and problems and desires that come up for you when the man is leading, especially when he's leading imperfectly, right? Are you just going to go along no matter what he says? Are you just going to receive him no matter what he says? If you do that, what's going to eventually happen is you're going to stop receiving. It might look like you're receiving him, it might look like you're following him, but you would have actually shifted into a compliance pattern. This is a control pattern where you're now unconsciously typically trying to manipulate him into seeing you as worthy and not a burden in any kind of way. You're basically trying to avoid rejection and trying to get validation. That's not being receptive, right? You're actually in your masculine energy. It's just a femininity costume that you're wearing. It looks feminine. It sort of feels feminine, maybe, for a man, though a masculine man is going to sense that something's off. But you're not actually being feminine. You're not actually truly receiving him, and if you're not truly receiving him, you're not actually truly respecting him. And this is kind of a mind screw. Women who've been trying so hard to follow a man and like be the good girl and everything, understanding that you're not actually respecting a man. It looks like you are. It's a costume that you're wearing so that a man kind of perceives you as being respectful, but you're not. And more importantly, you're not respecting yourself. That's the most important thing of all. You're not respecting yourself when you're not communicating your needs and feelings and problems. And you can only do that using feminine communication, because if you do that in any other way without feminine communication, now you're going to step into judgments, you're going to step into blame, you're going to step into kind of asking all these questions in a accusatory way, or a way that's just going to annoy a man. You're stepping into energetically leading. And when you're energetically leading, what are you not doing? Well, you're not receiving. You're not respecting him. You're not giving him what he needs. So you need to use feminine communication to communicate your needs so that the man knows what you need, gives it to you of his own free will, where it feels good for him because he can feel your respect, and then you feel so good and can actually receive what he's giving you because it actually feels good, because you can feel like it's coming from the right place from him, and because it's actually, you know, what you need. Like if you, for example, if you hate sushi, it's like disgusting for you, and he takes you to a sushi restaurant, and you just don't really say anything, it's okay, you know, and whatever, but you really wanted to go somewhere else, well, you kind of need to speak up, right, so that you can actually receive what he's giving you. Because if he takes you to the sushi restaurant because you don't say anything, you're going to feel kind of crappy. You're not going to be able to receive that gift because it wasn't really a gift for you. It doesn't really feel good. But if you stepped into judging or saying like, hey, you know, I don't really want sushi. That's an example. Like, I don't really want to eat sushi. That sushi's gross. Well, what you're doing there is you're leading subtly, and he's not going to like that. Of course, he might change the plan. Of course, if he knows his woman doesn't like sushi, he's not going to want to continue leading her to a sushi restaurant, probably. But the point is that he'd be doing it for kind of the wrong reasons, because he will feel led, because you are leading him subtly, which means that you're not receiving him in that moment, which means you're disrespecting him, which is the male equivalent to you not getting I love yous from your man. It's like he's not communicating that he loves you. That feels crappy for you, right? Well, it feels crappy for a man when you're not respecting him. And of course, you're not doing that on purpose, right? No woman does this on purpose. You just don't know any better. You weren't taught. You didn't learn this in childhood like you should have. You didn't have a man who taught you how to communicate with a man, and how it's very different than how women are basically taught today, and it's very different than how a man should be talking to a woman. And so you just go along talking this way, pushing away men who are right for you, or pushing away your man, pushing away the love that you could be getting from your man if you're in a relationship, when you could be doing something so much different, and you could be getting cherished right now. You could be adored by a man. You'd be fully taken care of, provided for, protected. But you need to learn feminine communication, and you need to learn how to make these shifts. If you'd like some real expert support on making these shifts, not just our webinar, but actually really diving deep, getting hands-on support and understanding this on a deeper level, again, open up that description below this video. All my offers are there. Two great places to start. One is our masterclass at polaritymasterclass.com, and the other is our academy, learning about our academy, and then you can do a call with me to see if the academy is right for you. So it's polaritymasterclass.com for the masterclass, and then thedreamrelationship.com for the academy. See you there. This is how you're going to change your life, get everything you want, learn how to create the relationship of your dreams.